Look, what I'm about to say is probably going to piss you off, but you need to hear it. 10xing your editing income is really fucking simple. However, it is not easy. It's going to take you a lot of work over the next 6 months to a year. And if you're not ready for that, then just click off this video. But if you're ready to go from $500 to $1,000 a month from editing to 5 to 10k per month, then lock in and fully focus on the rest of this video. If you're new here, my name's Joseph and I've been a full-time video editor for the past 3 years. Over that period, I've worked with some huge names like Nathan Nazareth, Benjamin Sader, and Sterling Cooper, and made a fuck ton of money doing so. So if you want to scale your video editing income, then you are in the right place. Now, before you go ahead and 10x your income, you need to make sure that your system is ready for that sort of scale. If you're currently spending 10, 12 hours editing every single video, how the hell do you expect to 10x your income? A newsflash, you're not going to 10x your prices in the next few months unless you're literally editing for $50 a video. Therefore, the first thing you need to do is productize your editing by creating a system. This is basically having an efficient step-by-step workflow to make sure that each video doesn't take you more than a couple of hours. Here's a basic overview of what that could look like. First, you use AI to cut up the footage, then you manually go through and correct any mistakes. That'll take you about 20 minutes. Then you go through, add some light effects like zooms and jump ins. That's probably going to be another 20 minutes. Then finally, you spend the last hour or so adding any heavier effects. This is stuff like title cards, lower thirds, and diagrams. You might be thinking an hour for all of that, but if you have the systems in place, it's really not that hard. Number one, you should have presets for any animations that you'd need, so all you have to do is drag and drop it. And secondly, you could build something that I like to call the Vault. The Vault is a fresh Premiere Pro project that you have for each client. And once you onboard them, you spend a few hours making every single effect they could ever need. But if you're working with the right type of clients, this really doesn't need to be much. Like I said earlier, it only has to be text effects, title screens, lower thirds, and some basic diagrams. That's it. And when you need it, all you have to do is drag and drop it from the Vault into your current timeline. And like I said earlier, the goal is to spend less than 2 hours editing a single video. And I know that's going to piss a lot of you off, but you need to accept that it can be done. Drop the perfectionism mindset and start acting like a business. Accept the fact that the majority of creators don't want fancy animations. They want simple, clean, professional effects that just make their videos easier to understand, and overall just save them a lot of time and headaches because they're no longer editing themselves. But if you want my help finding these clients who need simple edits and will pay $250 or more for a single video, then you can apply to work with me with the first link in the description. It's designed for editors making $1,000 a month and want to scale to $10,000 or more. I only accept 3 to 5 applicants per month because it takes a lot of my time to set up the systems for you. So if you're interested and want to learn more about that, then click the first link in the description. Now, the next part of building your system is figuring out your pricing. Most editors get this completely backwards, and I've not heard anyone else on YouTube talk about pricing this way, because most editors, they just try and charge the highest price. And sure, that'll definitely make you some money, but here's the thing. If a creator is paying thousands for a video, they're going to expect a super high quality video, jam-packed with animations and motion graphics, but we don't have the time to do that. We don't want to be editing every hour of every day. Therefore, charging thousands of dollars a video simply isn't an option. So what we need to do is reverse engineer our pricing. Let's say currently you're making $1,000 a month. 10xing that would be $10,000 a month. And we just established that we can edit a video in 2 hours. And because we're not some editing nerds and we want to actually go out and live a life, we only want to be editing around 4 hours a day. 4 hours a day means that we can edit 2 videos. And again, because we want to have a life and some freedom, we'll only work 5 days a week. That's 10 videos a week, 40 videos a month. So then we just divide 10,000 by 40, which is 250. There we go, that's our price, $250 per video. And trust me, you're talking to someone with over 3 years of editing experience. I know that most of you can edit to a standard of $250 a video. That is really not that expensive, and people paying that won't expect that much. So now we've got our systems and pricing in place. where do we actually find these clients? Well, it all comes back to one word. That word being volume. Now, before you click off because that sounds stupid, please hear me out. The only way to get video editing clients is by people seeing your offer. Your offer is literally just your editing and the result your editing gets for your client. So therefore, logically, the only way to get more clients is to put your offer in front of more people. And if you need to find 5 to 10 clients to fill those 40 slots per month of editing, you just need to get in front of more people. And personally, I found the best way to do this is sending cold emails. Now, I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty of how to do this, but you just need to understand the theory. Every time you send an email to a creator, there is a percentage chance that they will reply. And just to be pessimistic, let's say that there's a 0.5% chance that creators reply to your email. That means you have to email 200 people to get a single positive reply. And then, let's say that only 10% of those positive replies actually become clients. The maths was too difficult for me, so I just asked ChatGPT and it told me you need to send 56 emails per day to land 5 clients over 6 months. Let's just call that 60 to be safe. Do you really think that you can't send 60 emails per day? Because I sure think that you can. I think that you could double that and send 120 per day. Because what's the other choice? What else are you going to do? Sit in your bed, jerk off, scroll TikTok? I didn't think so. If you want to make money, this is what you have to do. If you wanted to land 5 clients in the next 3 months, maths statistically says that you have to send 120 emails per day. If you spent 2 minutes doing each email, that's 4 hours per day. Can you really not discipline yourself to 4 hours of an activity for the next 3 months? But what does this tell us? It tells us that the only constraint from you 10xing your income is yourself. You have a computer. You have an internet connection, you have time, you can send 120 emails per day. But why don't you? In your head, you want to make 10k per month, but you can't do the work. Why is that? It's fundamentally because your current identity doesn't believe it can. The person that you are believes that it cannot make 10k per month. Therefore, self-sabotages you, meaning you can't do the work. There's a part of you that wants to hit the goal, but the other part is stopping you from doing it. You need to adopt the identity of a 10k per month video editor. This might take weeks, this might take months, but then, only then, you'll be able to do the work. Only when you can discipline yourself for hours and hours a day to sit down and copy and paste boring emails, that's when you'll start to get clients. The problem's not your editing, it's not your portfolio, it's not your outreach message. The problem is you. You can't sit down and do the work. And until you fix that, you won't get any clients. But once you sit down and discipline yourself every single day to do the boring work, I can statistically guarantee you that you will hit your goal. If you want to find out how I can guarantee you an extra $5,000 a month in the next 6 months, then click the first link in the description. But other than that, if you want to find out how you can use simple edits to make over $3,000 a week, then click this video up here.